Hello, friends. Welcome back to my kitchen. It is Whatcha Cooking Wednesday. So I gotta know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like guacamole? All right? Because tonight, it's all about avocados. Well, not all about it. It's about Mexican. All right? We're doing a little taco salad. I'm gonna mix up some guacamole to go on top of it, as well as some fresh pico de gallo. Or salsa, whatever you want to call it. And I will share the recipes for the pico and the guacamole with you, not a problem. Plus, Pampered Chef just came out with some new variations on guacamole since we've started this whole new product. Okay, here's a little sneak peek. And we have a new product, our guacamole serve and save, that just came out yesterday. So that's what I want to make sure you see about. So we're talking about all about avocados. I do love my apron. What do you think? A couple of years ago, we had Pampered Chef had a competition with fundraisers. And I was lucky enough to host a couple fundraisers during that month. And it was in honor of our avocado tool when it first came out a couple of years ago. I'll be using this in a little bit. And I was lucky enough to be one of the winners of this apron. So I thought it was very appropriate that I pull it out of my closet for this event. So drop in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10 how much you like guacamole. If you're new to joining us, my name is Sharice Hurd. I am your Pampered Chef consultant. Please comment, say hello, tell me what's for dinner in your house. I love to read all the comments. They are so great to me, and I do so appreciate it. And if you're watching the replay, comment #replay. I'd like to know that as well. All right, are you guys ready? Let's get cooking. So I first want to talk about, I got the twist and chop here, and I'm going to be showing that. That's what's going to make my part of my guacamole and all of my pico de gallo. Before we get started, I want to talk about, excuse me, a little cough there. So I will be making a taco salad. So many of you may know that my husband and I are kind of on this journey of getting his diabetes under control, his sugar levels. So we're kind of not doing as many tacos. We love taco night, big taco fans. But we're trying to do some smarter things. So by having a taco salad, still gives us that Mexican flavor, but not having all of the carbs when adding to the sugar, right? So I'm actually going to be putting like salad together in my rectangular cool and serve. And the reason I want to, this is one of my favorite products that you must have for spring and summer entertaining, because you could do so much in here. You could not only make salads, you could do a 7-layer dip. You could do charcuteries in here. So on the bottom, if you're not familiar with our cool and serve line collection, underneath this little bowl here is these cooling trays. So you keep these in your freezer, and then you pop them in here. It keeps your food cold for 4 to 6 hours, okay? So that's super easy, right? So take this, you can cut up sandwiches, like cut sandwiches in quarters or something. Excuse me. My throat is not cooperating tonight. But sandwiches, charcuterie, crackers and cheese, veggie tray, okay? Easily put in here and take it with you. And because it doesn't have the compartments, you can just kind of make whatever. So, and great, again, for salads. Now, if you're doing taco night and maybe you want to get your toppings already and make it like a taco bar. So we've got a couple options for you to do a taco bar. This is our small cool and serve. I just don't have the little white insert in there. So this one actually is really great for dips and things, but it works for a taco bar as well, because you can put some of your toppings on either side and some in the middle here. So you've got 3 toppings that you can separate and put in there. And then we've got our large cool and serve here, our large square cool and serve. This one has lots of options because it comes with 2 inserts. And each of the inserts has 1 big section, and then the other side has 2 smaller sections. So you can do, you know, your sour cream, your salsa. Maybe do some black olives over here, some cheese, some tomatoes, your lettuce, and then you've got all your taco fixings right here. Everybody can make their own, right? Super easy to do, okay? And you can kind of prep that ahead a little bit. Have it ready in your refrigerator. The other thing I recommend with these, for those of you with kids or snackers during the day, fill this up with veggies and dip and all kinds of, you know, cheese and things that they can grab with crackers, cheese and pepperoni. And you can just pull this out when it's snack time, pull this out, ready to go. Or take it to the pool or the beach or wherever. But all your snacks are right in there. Same with a small one. But keep those handy all spring and summer long because you'll be using them all the time. All right. I'm going to move this out of the way somewhere. I don't know. We'll put it back here for now. And the other one you can use for your bar, I want to show this. If you happened to catch Pampered Chef Live last night, they did show this as well. This is our prep and store system. So one of these is empty. I didn't need it right now, but I have cheese in one of them here. All right. And this has cooling inserts in it as well that can go in the bottom of it. And then this one, I use the divider. See the little divider that you can take in and out? And so I have my tomatoes and my olives ready to go on my salad. So you can totally do this as well. You could do, you know, lettuce in here, tomatoes, olives, cheese. There's your toppings, right? So just another idea. The one thing I do, I will tell you about this. This usually lives in my refrigerator because I prep up with a divider one. I usually do celery sticks and pepper sticks. I need a drink of water soon. And then the other one, I usually have berries and grapes or something like that, or melon. Oh, I apologize. Never know when my throat's going to act up. Sorry. So yeah, I keep grapes or melon. So also, I don't have it in this one, but there is a little blue insert that goes on the bottom of this. So if you have melon, it keeps it off the very bottom. So any of the watermelon or cantaloupe, any of the juices that flow down, your bottom pieces are not sitting in it, which I love because we do a lot of melon usually. So this kind of lives in my refrigerator during the week. I prep everything on Sunday. That way you can just have it ready to go for snack time. But tonight I pulled it out to use it for some taco toppings. All right. Back here, you guys can't see too well, maybe here. So in here, my large skillet, I've just ground up some 90% lean ground beef. And then I added in a can of black beans. And I seasoned the meat with our Southwest seasoning, a tablespoon of Southwest seasoning, and a tablespoon of Chipotle rub. Those are my two favorites, my go-to. We can also use our taco seasoning. Good rule of thumb is brown up your meat and then put in about a tablespoon or a capful of whichever seasoning or rub that you're going to use per pound of meat. And then I add about a half a cup of water per pound. So that makes it really easy. And I never have to worry about if I have taco seasoning because I always have Pampered Chef seasonings in my kitchen. I have them right here. Southwest, Chipotle. Those are my two go-tos for whenever we're doing Mexican food. But we also have the taco seasoning, everything but the taco. All right? All right. Let's get going on our guacamole and our pico de gallo because that's really what we're cooking today, okay? But we're not really cooking. I'm just going to prepare them, all right? So, Twist and Chop is our new food processor. It came out about 6 months, a year ago, maybe now. I'm trying to think. But loving it because it's so handy and so fast. So one thing that I love is this blade here doesn't just go around. It actually goes up and down inside there too. So it gets all the pieces mixed around. So what I want to do first, I want to start out just doing, so I love guacamole. I don't like big chunks of onion in there, right? Who's with me? Do you like big chunks or small chunks of onion in your guacamole? I like them small. So I'm actually going to chop this up. Who has time to chop it by hand? Nobody. Nobody wants to. I could use a food chopper if I didn't have it. If I had, which I do have it. I could use the food chopper, right? I could use the manual food chopper. That's what I used to use all the time to make guacamole. But this thing makes it even better. So I have a quick question for you. Do you like your guacamole smooth? Or do you like it with chunks of avocado? Because there's the question, right? So in here, I'm going to drop in about a quarter of a red onion. And then I've got a big bowl of cilantro here. We're going to take a big handful, maybe 2 handfuls. So I need some for my pico de gallo. I like with lots of cilantro, okay? Are you team cilantro or team no cilantro, all right? So I love cilantro. I don't think I really liked it before. I don't know, until I started really working with it and making it fresh. Now I love it. Okay, so put this lid on. And did you see the little lights come on? Watch. No lights, now lights. Okay, so I want it pretty small. Now, hold your hands because this is gonna go fast, okay? Are you guys watching? Because it's gonna go fast. So I can pulse it if I want to leave big chunks and keep an eye on it, or I can just go fast. Now watch what happens when I go fast. Look at that. And guys, this is almost done, all right? Just that fast. Now I'm just gonna pulse it. And when you pulse it, make sure you give it time to go all the way down and up, okay? So it has a full rotation, all right? We are just about there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That is really nice and fine. The cilantro is chopped up. I'm going to bring it over here so you guys can see this. Hold on. I don't know if you can see. Can you guys see? Look it. You guys can pretty well see that. Look how nice and fine that all got chopped up. And I forgot my scraper. Hold on. All right, let me grab my little scraper here. So, let me put this in a bowl. Okay. So I got all the guacamole stuff right here. And I'm going to put this off to the side. I put this to the side for a second. This is our new server. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. All right. So I just want to get this out of here real quick. So you can easily do, like I said, I'm going to make the pico de gallo in here also. But this makes it, you can just do this part first and then put it in your bowl to make up the rest of your thing. Because the flavors are the same. We're using cilantro and we're using red onion in our pico de gallo. So go ahead and mix, use it to chop this up. Now, if you wanted your guacamole smooth and no chunks, go ahead now and then add your avocados into this bowl. Oh, the onion's making me cry. Into this bowl with some lime juice. Done, okay? Just a little salt and pepper, that's it, okay? Or, if you don't want to add in, if you just want to make your smooth guacamole, you can just use our guacamole seasoning. Avocados, guacamole seasoning. Done. You don't need cilantro, you don't need lime. Onion, it's ready for you. That onion is really, really strong. Wow. One little piece of onion got in there. Okay. Let's leave that for a minute. Wow. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to put this back on here because we're going to use this again. I'm going to put that back there. All right. Because we're going to use that again in a minute. All right. So what I want to do is I want to finish making my guacamole here. So, like I said, you can just do avocados and you can do your guacamole mix. And that's all you need. All right. And if you want it smooth, go this way. If you want it chunky, you're going to want your avocados in a bowl and you're going to want to use your mix and masher. All right. So let me find my avocados. All right. Little tip for you before I get started here. You'll notice my avocados are kind of living with my apples right now. Because when I brought them home from the store, they weren't quite soft enough. You want to be able to press in just a little bit. Just make a little, want it to give a little when you press it, okay? So apples, you don't want to leave apples, so they're kind of by themselves. They're not in my regular fruit basket because apples put off this, I forget what it's called, but they kind of put off this, not energy, but this fume something. I forget. Sorry, don't remember. It'll come to me later. Don't worry. And what it does, it ripens everything really quickly. So don't put the apples next to your bananas or any other fruit. You want to keep your apples by themselves, okay? But they help avocados ripen like crazy. So they've been sitting in here for about 24 hours, 36 hours, something like that. And now they are perfect. So I'm going to do, this one's still not quite there, but I got 3 good ones, and that's all I need, all right? So there's your little tip. If you need to ripen them, now if you need to ripen them faster, but usually about 24 hours with an apple will do it. But if you want to be sure that it's ripened, make sure that you put it in a brown paper bag, and that kind of keeps all those, whatever that gas that the apple comes off the apples stays on there, okay? All right, so let's get our avocados in here. We're going to use our avocado tool. Now, one side of this blade here is serrated and sharp, okay? Telling you from experience. This side is dull, all right? Then this part here on the bottom, that's where you're gonna put that's your pitter, okay? So use the serrated sharp side for your skin. Be careful, because like I said, it is sharp. So you're gonna cut around halfway, all right? Give it a little twist, all right? Look how beautiful that avocado is, all right? Then you take, I'm gonna put that one down. All right. Take the smooth side and just kind of go along the skin and pop that out right into your bowl there. Where is that extra bowl for my garbage? There it is. Okay. Let me get the other one. Now this one has a pit. Take your pitter, just stab it and twist it. Comes right out. Well, there you go. All right. Pop that into your garbage bowl. There we go. Now, take the smooth side. Go around. My son, Kyle, is an expert at guacamole. When we have our 4th of July get together, he is the one that is always in charge of making the guacamole. He is the man. He's the guac man. All right. Oh, this is one of those small pit ones. Sometimes, and I forget the difference, that they have different names for those, the ones that have the bigger pit like I just had, and ones that have the smaller pit. And of course, right now, I do not remember the names. All right, get that pit out of there. Whoop, come on. The bowl is filling up there. All right. Pull this one out. So usually 2 to 3 avocados will be enough. I'm going with 3 tonight because I know we're going to want lots of guacamole on our salad. So just give me one more minute to get this last one. I guess I probably should have done this ahead of time, but I wanted you guys to see it. Another perfect avocado. There we go. I don't think that one's going to fit in that bowl anymore. All right. Let me get this done at first. Get some dirty hands. Go, oops, get off there. There we go. Oh, my throat is dry. Acting up. Okay, there we go. All the avocados are in. Now let me get rid of this garbage and wipe my hand off. Real quick. Okay. There we go. That's wiped off. Okay. So I need the juice of a lime. All right. So I've already put this in the microwave for 10 seconds just before we start it. Let me just cut it in half. There we go. All right. So the reason I put it in the microwave for 10 seconds before we started was so that the juice would go to the center and the oils go to the outside. So I'm not zesting, so I don't really care about the oils, but that's what happens when just 10 seconds is all you need. All right, and about the juice of 1 lime. Sometimes people like it a little limier, some like it less limey. You decide how much you like it. All right, there we go. And this is our citrus press. Man, this thing has been used so many times, I can't even tell you. between margaritas and guacamole, whew, it gets a workout. All right, let's put that over there. All right. And that's it. Oh, little salt, little salt. Kind of helps break things down. All right, there we go. A little kosher salt on there. Take our mix and masher and just mash this up. So this, by doing it this way, you're gonna have nice, chunky guacamole, okay? I don't know if you guys can see, there we go. This masher is great for so many things. But I love it because it's kind of like a spoon and a masher as well. So you can really kind of move things around and stir it up, and make sure you got all the bits. So we like it chunky. So this is the way I do it. We tried doing it all in the twist and chop and realized that it got way too smooth. Now you can probably do it, just pulse it just a couple times. Depending on how soft your avocados are, it will not take much, okay? But this way you'll ensure a chunky guacamole. So if you are loving guacamole, I have to tell you, I told you we just came out with the serve and save. But with that, we also came out with a special kit. It's all but the avocado, okay, set. It comes with the mix and masher, the avocado tool, the serve and save, and the guacamole mix. You can get them all as a set, a little bit of a discount. So it's $49 for the entire set. Serve and save is going to be $29 alone, all right? So now that's all mixed up and ready to go. Let's put it in our serve and saver so I can show you what is happening with this thing. But I need to move some things around real quick. Okay. Pop the tops. All right, 3 little latches. Take that off. Now in here, oops, I forgot to put it all back down there. I was playing with this earlier and now I've got to get it back out. Yeah, see, this is what happens when you play with your food. All right, hold on. I push it all the way through, I think. There we go. Okay, so it comes apart for cleaning. So when you're making your guacamole, you're gonna have this clear collar first. All right, put that over here. So that seals in there. It's got this silicone top, so it's sealed in there, okay? Now we're gonna fill this up with our guacamole. All right, let's get this all in there. I am scraping all of it off because I am not missing any of it. I love guacamole. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we don't want to waste any of it. There we go. All right. And you'll see that it doesn't come quite up to the top, right? And that's not a problem. Let me move that out there. So now what I want to do is when you get ready to serve this, so you don't get people digging their hands all the way in there. So if you're just serving it with chips and whatever, put it on this little thing here. You saw that? And then just kind of press it down. Now see where it comes right up to the top? All right, leave that. Then people can eat, okay? And they eat and eat. Maybe they don't finish it all. Doesn't happen in my house, but it can happen. You're gonna take your lid, open up this little top. There's a little hole right there, okay? All right, put this on. Whoop. Lock it in place. And then push down until it starts to come out the top. And if it comes out the top a little bit, that's okay. You just take it off. I did it, okay? Push that top in. Now it is airtight sealed. All right? And you can take this part off for now. Wait, it doesn't go in the refrigerator, but this can go in the refrigerator. It's airtight. It's not gonna go black on you. How about that, right? So great. All right, leave that there because we're gonna eat that in a minute. Let's make our pico de gallo. All right, we're back to our twist and chop. Put it back together, put the blade back in there. So I'm gonna start with 1/4 of an onion. Start with that. I'm just gonna break those pieces apart. I've got the rest of my cilantro here. All all right? And whatever is onion and cilantro are left inside there that, like I said, it didn't really matter, okay? And don't worry about the stems. The stems are good too. They taste just as well, all right? Throw those stems in there. 2 garlic cloves that have been peeled, throw those in there. All right, let's get this chopped down because we want that a little bit finer than the tomatoes, right? You want a little bit chunk. So I'm just gonna pulse it. Now also you can put jalapeno in here if you wanted to. Just devein it and seed it, and then you can add that in there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Got that onion pretty small. I like that. All right, now I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of lime juice. I did this one earlier because you guys already saw me do a lime. A little bit of salt. All right. And then I've got about 2 cups of grape tomatoes, but I'm gonna put about half to start with. All right, and we'll do those. All right, lock that on, and then just pulse. And then we're going to add the other half in there. The one thing I want to do is grab this thing. Let me just push these sides down a little bit. We got a bunch of onion and cilantro here. All right. There we go. All right. We're going to It's done. Really, I'm not kidding you. Look at this pico de gallo. How long did that take us? Just minutes, right? This pico is looking so good. Let me take this thing out of there so you guys can get a good look at it. There. All right, let me. Whoop. This looks just so good, okay? Whoop. All right, what do you think? Do you want some? How good does that look? It's so fast. Fresh pico de gallo salsa, you want to call it, to go on top of our taco salad. All right, this, taco salad's easy. Everybody's had one, right? But with fresh guacamole and fresh pico de gallo, you can't go wrong. Nothing store-bought. I mean, as far as processed, okay? You don't have, guacamole that's been sitting in the refrigerator section for who knows how long. Or jarred salsa, which we have got jarred salsa at times, but fresh is so much better, right? And if you're trying to watch the ingredients that are going into your food, make it at home. I just made those 2 dips that, people love. Grab a bag of chips right here. Got a bag of my dippers here. And go to town, all right? We're gonna eat some of that. Some of these will go, we're gonna probably do a little dip in, and then we're gonna have our salad. So, guys, it's super easy to make your own without having to have the processed if you don't want it, okay? So, that's what I'm doing tonight. I appreciate you guys joining me. So, if I didn't tell you this, I may not have, I get talking and I forget. The rectangular cool and serve that I showed that I'm making my salad in. This is actually on sale this month in April. We have our spring entertaining sale going on right now. And then of course the guacamole serve and save just came out, brand new item. And that's $29 available now while supplies last. It is not going to last all summer long. So make sure that you order that soon, okay? The twist and chop, if this one is something that you want in your home, in your kitchen to help you cut up things. And I gotta tell you, I try to figure out how much onion, when I'm doing my prep day on Sunday, I figure out how much chopped up onion I'm gonna need for the week. I do it all in the twist and chop at one time and then put it in containers, divide it up if I need to, or just put it in one big container in the refrigerator, and all my onions are chopped up at one time. I didn't have to use a knife at all, and it's so nice, okay? But if that twist and chop is on your wish list, this month in April, host a party and get it for 60% off, okay? You'd only be paying $39.60 for it. $39 for this. And it is a workhorse. You'll be using it at least once a week, if not more. During the summer, homemade guacamole, pico de gallo. And maybe these are coming right out of your garden. You know, grow some onions, grow some tomatoes, some cilantro. Make your own, right? Grow it and make it. Why not? All right. So that is all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I so appreciate you coming in every Wednesday and checking out what's new and what's happening. I gotta run because this smells so good. I gotta go eat. I am starving. Please join me next week when we'll be doing another episode of Whatcha Cooking Wednesday. Bye, everyone.